I am out with my cows. It's been so long. I got wild hair. I've been out with my cows. I'm sitting in their hay pile. I got them new collars and I'm sitting here trying to let Suki, our calf, she's not a calf. She's gonna have a calf in October herself, but I got them collars. Mia has hers on already and I got Suki one. She won't let me touch her. So I'm waiting to warm her up, knowing full well I won't be able to do that today. I'll have to get her in her stanchion with some grain and then do it. But I just think this is funny. And the irony, something's just not sitting right when I'm putting genuine leather collars on a cow. I've been out here cleaning off solar panels off the top of our barn. And then we have this underground river. It's an aquifer. And it's the first time I've ever seen it above ground. It's not underground, it's on top. The boys are ice skating on it. It's way bigger than our ice rink and it goes like the whole span. I don't know if you can see my boys back there. They're right there. They're coming to get their skates. It's a funny day. It's a beautiful, warm-ish, almost spring day. The cowgirls are getting their winter coats. They're starting to shed really good and need to get out here and brush them. I dried Mia up March 5th because she's due May 5th. So you want to give them a couple months to recover, to put their energy into just being pregnant. So she's going to calf in a couple months. And so this is our first week. Actually, I had to buy store-bought milk. I got like the best quality I could get at Costco. Organic, A2, paid the big bucks. I get home, I put it away, and I noticed the expiration date is not till like June 7th. It is March 17th. How does milk stay good that long? I have no idea. Pasteurization, but like there's surely got to be some sort of preservative in it. No. Anyway, I'll let you know if I get this cow collared up. She probably won't let me. She likes to chew on it, but Mamma Mia. I used to do this all the time when Mia was little. And when she was the only cow, but she had goat companions, I'd come out here and I'd sit with her and just... She loved me then. I feel like now that she has Suki, she's less attached. Also, this is so random, but a few weeks ago, the same Sunday I taught my garden class, so March 5th, we woke up to a neighbor came, well not woke up, we were already up. A neighbor came by and she was like, guys, your cows are out. Somebody drove through your fence. Somebody drove through our fence in the middle of the night. We could see their tracks because it's snowy and took out, we have along the road, we have cattle panels and T-posts and they took out 2 of each. So it's not like too much money and damage, but the fact that nobody said anything about it or apologized or offered to help fix it or paid for it. I mean, I don't even care at this point. The cost isn't very much. So like just apologizing is nice, or coming to tell us that they did it. I know it's the middle of the night and we have a gated property, so you can't really get in, but to maybe leave a note or try and repair it, like try and lift the fence back up because our cows weren't out in the middle of the night. But they came right in as soon as we opened the gate. The neighbor had them all ready for us. That was very thoughtful and sweet. And they came back in, but they literally ran a car. It had to do some serious damage because the way the T-posts and the cattle panels were, you could tell it jacked up somebody's car. It was a bummer. So we had a couple older cattle panels that don't look great, and the ground is frozen solid, so we couldn't get the T-posts out or new ones in, so we just put them in front to keep the cows in. It just looks trashy, but we'll fix it this spring. I don't know what else. That's all we could do right now, but when the ground unthaws, we can fix the fencing. And it's just a good reminder to keep a couple cattle panels on hand, just for in case of emergency like that where you need to slap them up so your cows stay in. Yeah. And now they're getting collars, so they can easily be caught and brought in. Mia, it'll work for Mia. You could grab her and lead her. Suki's a wildling. That is one of the downsides of raising a calf on her mom like we did. There's the positives outweigh the negatives for us, at least personally. There's a few positives. Well, one, you see how Mia's she loves us. I'm comfortable around her. Obviously, I've had some issues where I broke my nose with her milking, but all in all, she's a good cow and very friendly, and I'm her person. Where Suki, she doesn't have a person. Her mom is her friend, And so they're bonded greatly to each other, but they're not, Shuki's not bonded to me. So some people, a lot of major dairies, but I know a lot of small homesteaders or farmers do this too. They'll pull the calves as soon as they're born and then bottle feed them because the calf bonds to you. And I understand that because I have that with Mia. But for Sook, it was better for her to stay on her mama. One, so we could calf share so we're not milking every day. This is our first break. This is our first week and a half break, 2 weeks and a year and a half since Mia had Suki's, October 2021. So this is our first time not being able to milk her. And it's only for 2 months, but it was nice. So when you calf share, you can put the calf with her, separate her at night, or leave the calf on her all the time. So that way you don't have to milk at all. Or if you go on a vacation, that is a good time. If you're milking twice a day because you pulled the calf, that really limits you. I much prefer calf sharing versus not, just for the ease. But the downside is you get a wildling, and the wildling isn't bonded to you, and you can't put a collar on her. I'm gonna get you. She lets us pet her sometimes. It's progress. One of my little boys has skates on, so I'm gonna go down and see. Watch him skate. That's so awesome. It's getting slushy now that the sun's coming out. Hey. Whoa, crazy. The ice is harder over here, eh? Woo! Come right here, Vinny. Come here. I think this is some good ice. Yeah, right in there.
That was good too.
Okay, go around again. No, almost. Come on, gate. I can't get in my garden. Finally got the garden gate open. It's been frozen shut for like months. And today got up to 56 degrees. That is awesome. So I'm out sitting in the garden just dreaming about what it's going to be. The snow's melted off quite a bit, except in here. Both of my garlic beds are melted. And yeah, it's March 5th, 17th, 18th. Can get out here and clean up. Got a lot of cleanup to do. Garden bed, you can see the sticks. It's best to like, oh, the ground is so frozen. I'm gonna cut them down to soil level and not leave the roots to decompose, and just puts those nutrients, keeps those nutrients in the soil. I have talked to you, which you guys saw the frozen underground river. That's not so underground right now at this time of year. Keep praying for spring to just pop up in a creek, which would be super cool because we live in a really dry climate. It could happen. There was at one point where that underground river, it goes through my parents' property as well. They had a lake, big, huge pond that they would have kayaks on and everything. And it's been dried up since they've owned it. So, but people have told us. But anyway, there's a part of it that comes through the garden, and you can really see it right now with all how wet this is and saturated. And this is the area, it comes down through here. And this is the area where we really get that wiregrass, which is a lot in our local, like by the river and all the places. But here it goes in our garden because the aquifer is here, which is also why we couldn't take the greenhouse down more than 3.5 feet, was because we had hit the risk of flooding because of how this floods it late winter, early spring. So, but it's definitely coming up right here. I mean, lots of places are wet and soggy, but if you would even just go a little bit further down, you can tell that it's not nearly as saturated. In here is where we get a lot of wiregrass as well, but that is the main area. And sometimes when it starts raining, it'll start flowing, so we know it goes through here. One garlic bed here. This is when we mulched in the beginning of February. My kids are out flying kites. We haven't had a nice warm day like this since the fall. This video is the theme of wild hair. This is the first bed right here. This is where I'm going to transplant all my raspberries from the little garden, and they're going to go here. And I'm going to build myself some cute raspberry trellises to make it look nice. There'll be a big, huge bed of raspberries, and Lord willing, they'll be really prolific. But this is like the worst state of the garden. I always feel like it's a lot of bareness. It's just kind of a mess from fall when you get worn out and haven't finished anything. And my kids are going wild with their kites. There's like no wind today, so that's a problem. But they're running with it. Burns off a lot of burns off a lot of energy. So I was telling you, I dried off my cow, Mia, and she. This is crazy. This gate. Got my gate unstuck. I'd frozen solid for 2 months. This one's stuck in ice. At least it was open. It's the only way I could get in. I had to walk around. We dried off Mia. First time in a 1.5 years. Hi, sweet girl. And she got a new collar. I think she likes it. Hi, piggies. Do you like it? For drying her off, if they're producing less than 2.5 gallons, you just stop milking and stop feeding grain, stop feeding alfalfa. You see that trashy that was a pig shade house this summer. We need to take it down. It's just a piece of junk. The boys built it. Nightmare. Also nightmare. Just got a fresh load of compost delivered. We're getting more snow today. It looks like it's our last day in the 30s, which is good. I'm heading down to the greenhouse. I want to give you an update. My onions have been out here. This video has been expanding over a few days, so I have no idea. I don't remember until I start editing what I've already talked to you about. Oh shoot, this got unlocked. My onions are down here. I moved them out, well, because one, our kitten Ping Pong was laying in them and they're recovering from that. And two, we needed more space for our tomatoes and peppers and what have you. So here are the onions. They need trimmed. I'm going to trim them tomorrow because we've already trimmed them once, fertilized them once. I'm going to trim them tomorrow, fertilize them tomorrow. But because we don't get above 35 today, I don't want them risking freezing. When you cut them, this even goes for outside, you're leaving them more prone to the elements. And I bet they would be fine with the cold, but we're going to get in the teens and I just don't want to risk losing them how far we come. So they're a little scraggly right now, a little wild. That's perfectly normal, perfectly fine. My little baby cabbages, I neglected to water these as soon as I planted them. Got a little lazy. Then I came out and have been watering them out here. So they're just now germinating. You can see the babies. They're popping up. So they're doing good. It is April. It's the beginning of April now. I got to finish up this video because it's been since I think I started this video mid-March. So. I'm having to lock up my greenhouse because the deer have already been getting in it. Our gates were frozen open for the majority of winter, and my tree started putting on growth in here. I have 2 little espalier apple trees, and my tree started putting on growth, and the deer came in and munched one down already. So super. So we got 6 yards of compost delivered, and let's see, going back to this crazy area of the garden, we have, oh hey Brady, what's left of our compost from last year. It's settled down a lot, and we also used a good bit of it to refresh the little garden in the fall. So we have left, it'll still do a couple good sized beds. And these, I don't know if the camera's picking it up, these are good sized, one there, one here, humps. They have a bunch of weeds growing in them. They need to get spread out. They are compost from last year that we didn't spread out because we didn't use this part of the garden. I am on the right side of the little greenhouse. The dirt piles over here to my right, pastures on the other side of that fence. And we're going to be putting in 3 or 4 rows of potatoes over here. This is strategic because I'm going to try, I always do my roost out method, but we had the pigs in this area and the chickens in here last late summer, fall. So this ground, even though I haven't amended it with compost yet, which I will when I have potatoes in, it has been worked with animals, so which is good. So there is some compost already in here that's been sitting for all winter. It's going to be perfect for growing potatoes. Also, there's no sprinkler here. I have no irrigation on this part. I could easily build an additional sprinkler, but I just thought I'm going to do the method where you water them really, really good, mulch them really, really good, and don't have to water for a few weeks and only have to water them for a few weeks. And it's a perfect spot to do it here, where I've been growing potatoes in the main garden, which you've seen the most on the videos. It's harder because it's other vegetables are around it, and therefore the potatoes get what the other vegetables get, which potatoes need significantly less water if you're mulching them as I do. Now we're going behind. All my weed fabric has gotten just like ripped up and just needs fixing. So it's a little trashy. All these weeds in here, we can come in with a weed eater and knock them down, or a mower and knock them down pretty soon probably, and just use them to mulch the bed. These beds, because, well, there was chickens in here. I have a escapee chicken right here. That's Princess Leia. She's our oldest chicken. She's got to be pushing 6. She's at least 5. So this is behind. I actually have 3 beds here. And these were the beds I was going to try and grow some oats. And it's probably going to get pretty weedy back here anyway. So growing oats doesn't hurt it. It's also something I'm running to trial for animal food production. Hey, Leia. So we'll try it. Now, to this side of me, we have some shade shelters for the chickens that were in here last year, or the pigs. There are 5 50-foot beds over here. And this is where a few years ago we had really good success growing sunflowers. They did so well. Just direct sowed them early or late April. They did great. Now, I do have some perennial yarrow back here, but I think I'm going to I didn't get much. I didn't see it much come back. I didn't see it come back so much last year. And I have elderberries along the fence line here. We're going to dig those up and put them up towards the front of the garden so they get more attention. And back here, I'm planning on doing my brassicas that need a long-term placement. So like cabbages, they take like the whole season. Brussels sprouts, they take ages to come to maturity. And this, I think, is going to be perfect because it's out of the way. I'm going to add, there's 2 sprinklers here. I'm actually going to double up. I'm going to do 4 sprinklers just so it gets really good and watered for this zone. It has 3 running off it. I have my sprinklers. I got some repairs. I got 1 here, 2 sprinklers up here. I'm going to add at least 1 more, maybe 2 greenhouse. So I'm going to be at least adding 1 more sprinkler to this zone, maybe 2 more, depending on how well 3 do. I'll probably just do 4 just to make it even and evenly distribute the water. So I'll put my cabbages back here this time. No more sunflowers back here. In theory, there's that bed with the yarrow. I might put it out there. But because it's early April, we start to see these things. Obviously, there's still potential of snow. My ground is still super frozen on the top. Good time. It's a good time you can come through and do like some cleanup. I have some peas here that I could take down my trellis, my peas. I have broad bean stalks. I'm just going to cut those down. Broad beans can perennialize. They can perennialize. Now, because of our harsh climate and I didn't mulch these, I doubt it, but you never know. So I'm just going to clip them at their roots, and they could come back. If they come back, then great. We have free broad beans. If they don't, great. Their roots will just decompose into the soil and put those nutrients back into the soil. So it really just doesn't matter, but I need to do some cleanup. At this point in time in the garden, you can be getting your compost on. Like I just got mine delivered. We won't be planting still for a few more weeks, but you can certainly get your garden prepped on a day like today where it's not even going to be above 35 and it's snowing and spitting. I don't have the gumption to get out here and work in the freezing cold. So with that being said, like what's the temp right now? Probably not even above freezing, and the wind is coming in. It's April, guys. We're getting close. We're getting so close to planting, and pretty soon this soil will be ready and workable and ready to go. This year I'm going to be doing some soil tests, just some at-home soil testing to see where we're at. I didn't see any worms in this garden last year. I don't even know if I have worms in my little garden. It's a hard place to get worms just because of our harsh climate, and also the soil so depleted of food for the worms. But I do have giant earthworms up by my house. I did pray for those. And then I'm hoping that this year is the year I get some worms in here or in the little garden, which would be really, really amazing, and just a testament to the soil work that we've been doing for the last few years. In other climates and other states, I know it's way easier to get earthworms and have healthier soil, but here you really have to put the work into it. It doesn't come easy. But there's a little spring update for you guys and a little farm blog on the cows. And Mia's due May 5th. Spring baby calf, which is fun. I've never had a spring calf. I've always had fall, which is why we staggered her. Our heifer is due in October. So Suki will have calf in October. Mia will be in spring. If she has a heifer this year, we will be selling it. So if you need a milk cow this fall, we'll probably have one for you. I hope you're enjoying your spring. I'm sure most of you are further along in spring than we are. So very much winter here right now. The snow, you can see it all on that side of the property. This side of the property gets melted off quicker, but it's winter, very much winter over there. And with the snow coming down as we speak, spring is coming. We'll be out here working our tails off. We have a short season, and because we have a short season, we have to work a lot quicker than those who live in a long climate or longer climate. Like in the valley of Portland, you have 250, 260 days of growing season. We have about 80, but like I said, we can get frost anytime throughout the summer. So frost-free days, basically non-existent much. So when we're working quick and hard, which is sometimes it's nice to have the long winters we have, because it really, really gears us up for the hard work we have coming this spring. Because when it's go time, and you got to go hard and get your garden in and get your harvest up and get it preserved and all the things. So get ready to go hard, people, because we got to get this in and get it going. Okay, get ready to go, guys. Get your compost, get your seeds, get everything. If you didn't start seeds, that's okay. If you need to buy plants, that's great. Whatever you need to do to get a garden in this year, just get it going. Learn how to grow food. It's so important. It gives you some security. And it's just like free therapy, because garden therapy is so very, very important. Okay, thank you for following along, guys. I'll see you in my next video. Bye, guys.